Today, I would like to do a piece on the culture of pigeons. I didn't know that the pigeon culture was that big into recently. You know, they have pigeons that cost they cost them $100,000, they cost $1 million. And I also know that when I was a kid, we used to go into the schools and we used to break into the attics to try to catch pigeons. We used to go up there to the factories by Roosevelt Park. We used to go up to Bethune School, and we used to go downtown LA, and we was always would save our money to have pigeons. And one of the years later, when I found out that I always wanted to raise my own birds, and I always wanted to have my own set of birds, and I also wanted to have the rollers and the spinners and the birds that tumble in the air. But I always knew this guy named Boo. Boo used to break in cages in LA, and a lot of times people used to break in people's cages. That was a big thing in LA. And then Mike Tyson also is real familiar with pigeons, and I know that Mike Tyson had pigeons when he was growing up, and a lot of times I've seen a lot of things he was doing with these birds. And I always have a lot of guys in my neighborhood, Robin, Jerry, and all these guys had 50, 60 birds. And I also noticed how in the movie Training Day, where they would let up the birds, so the birds would be able to let people know that the police was in the community, and we would always train our birds to fly and to be home birds, so we wouldn't lose our birds and lose our money. And sometimes we used to walk to different neighborhoods just to see birds in the air. And we also used to go to this pet shop that used to be on Florence and Alameda. We used to walk there. We used to walk up there just to see the birds when we was kids, because we didn't have money back then to buy birds. But I also know we'll be having our binoculars on our street, and when we see birds through our binoculars, we would walk or ride our bikes to the places where the birds was, and we would always look and see what color they was and how beautiful they was and how they would tumble, and how we could make our birds more of tumblers, and how we can make our birds worth more money, and how we can make our birds expensive, and how we can mate and trade and do different things with these birds. And even we used to trade dogs for birds. We used to trade mini bikes. We used to trade beach cruisers, 10-speeds, swings, bicycles. And even though a lot of times we even traded cars for these birds, but I always wanted to be a guy that was in the bird business, because the bird business is a good business to be in. And I also been reading that they have a lot of birds in Oklahoma, a lot of birds in New York, a lot of birds in Texas. They're all over the country. And like today, I just wanted to bring light on the pigeons, because this is a big thing. They have something called prison pigeons, and I always seen a lot of birds that was around in the community. Sometimes you don't even know people have birds until you see them flying in the air. And this is one of the most closed-in hobbies that a lot of people have, that a lot of people is not even talking about. But we're going to be talking about more about pigeons, Pigeon 1, Pigeon 2 documentaries, and we're going to be even bringing them into the screen where we can even talk about the birds and be able to have more talk about these birds, and be able to maybe get Mike Tyson be a mediator to the bird culture, and be able to have fun and be able to talk about these birds, where they come from, what origin and region they really from, and how we can even